So this deck was basically the answer to a question. We wanted to play... We wanted to play Bride of the Damned in Immortal, but we wanted to play a champion that wasn't Uzu, and we wanted to leverage the power that Bride offered without having to give up our champion power. So Adaptable Infusion device is kind of a possible solution to that. Drawing a second blood resource here is fantastic. It means we can Inquisition on our second turn now. I think I was going to play the blood anyways, just in the off chance we drew another blood, because Inquisition against 2 is pretty important. Our opponent's likely playing a Majesty deck with Crested as the champion. They have the Howling Brave here on 1. Chlorophilia here, so they're going to have the turn 3 Majesty if they possibly have a ton of acceleration out of the opponent here. Their champion power also accelerates them. My Twitch just dropped again. Looks like it's back up. Hopefully that's not going to be a thing all day today. It's Inquisition here. Hopefully they only have 1 payoff. Okay, Crocosaur is not really a payoff card against us, so we're going to take the Titania's Majesty, which grabs something scary for them, so just go and snag that right out of their hand there. Attack for 2, play your 5 power guy. Yeah, Croc's not particularly impressive against us. We don't have a ton of troops, so just like playing it out here as pressure seems fine. I'm going to go ahead and play the Sapphire resource. I'm not going to play this Vampire Prince because we got 2 copies of Extinction here in our hand, so we'll just use our life total as a bit of a resource here, and we'll let our opponent crack us for 8. And then we'll just use Extinction to clean the board up next turn. If my opponent played like a Balthazar here, I'd Herofall the Crocosaur, but... yeah, hopefully we don't have connection issues today. I haven't had connection issues in a long time, but I also haven't streamed on a Saturday, and cable internet is miserable, and it's slower based on the amount of people in the area that are using it, so... now we just need our opponent not to rip a Titania's Majesty this turn, because if they do... okay, just another Crocosaur is fantastic for us, so we get to go 5th resource Vampire Prince this turn. So... I really like Vampire Prince in these decks. It allows you to kind of hit your early resource drops more consistently, as it's taking cards off the opponent's deck, and it also applies pressure and buffers our life total against the aggressive decks, which is really nice. Infamous Dio with the host. Welcome, folks. I don't think I want to use my life total as a resource again here, so now that he's entered combat, I'm going to go ahead and Herofall this. Hopefully we don't get Gargoliths. We could get a little bit punished for waiting, but I think we have to wait there, because if we get, like, Majesty into something, that's really scary. That's pretty good. So this is when they gain a Ruby Threshold. It deals 1 damage to each of my troops, so hopefully they don't do that. I'm going to go ahead and attack with this. Them there, and the top card of their deck was a Ruby Shard that would have killed my Prince, so let's play this Bloodstone out. They lose 1, we gain 1. I think I'm just passing here. I really don't want to burn this Transmogrifade on a 5-drop, and we're gaining 2 to 3 life a turn while taking 5. I guess if they gain a wild... yep, and there's a Majesty, so let's see what this gets. Another Eternal Sage, okay. That's pretty good. So they're going to be able to give this one that can attack +6/+6. So we're going to take 11 here. I'm just going to take this hit rather than burning the Transmog to gain life, I think, because this can protect us from another potential Majesty on the line. And then I'm just going to go ahead and attack them with this to gain at least 2 back, and then cast this Extinction post-combat. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do this to clean up the board. And then I'm going to play this Sapphire Shard out so I can hold up the Herofall or the Transmog, depending on what they do here. I don't want to Oracle Song just yet because I want to hold up my interaction. That's fine. That gains them 2 life and draws them a card. It's possible I should have played the Slow Shard there and just, like... draw a couple... Do I need to hold up a Herofall here? I probably don't. I probably didn't need to last turn either, honestly. That's Bride. Alright, so... I guess I'm going to play this, because on the off chance my opponent doesn't give me anything that I want to target with a Transmogrifade, I'm just going to go ahead and cycle my coin. The Bride of the Dam's an excellent draw here, because it means we can take this Balthazar and gain some life with it and draw some cards. Just take our hit for 1. Morning. Good. Cycle this, discard it, draw a card, they lose 2 life. Another Herofall. Excellent. Things are here pretty well for us here. So, Infusion Device is good in the mid to late game still, just like Uzu's power is, because this gives us a blood threshold with our Bride of the Damned tier, which will allow us to give a troop an extra -1/-1. So we'll be able to do that, and then we'll play this other blood chart out and give this -1/-1, which will take the Balthazar and bring it back into play into our control, letting us gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. We get to our post-board game here. The extra Bride is in the board for these wild matchups. I don't have all 4 in the main deck, because there's actually quite a bit of Herofall decks in the format right now, so I think playing a 4 of like that in our main deck's kind of a liability. The extra Extinction seems reasonable. Probably don't need Psychic Ascension to win this matchup. We can just like win on the back of like Brides taking their troops and like Princes and Kings. I can probably trim an Oracle Song. That doesn't seem completely unreasonable. Let's give this a try. See how it goes. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday, good weekend. Welcome. This hand's fine. It's got turn 2 Exarch of the Egg, which is a reasonable blocker. It's got Herofall and Extinction here. It's got an Infusion Device should we find a Bride of the Damned. There's that Howling Brave on one. They did take a mulligan this game, though. Lead on the Shard of Cunning for a blood here. Went to the pre-release. 5 people did have enough cards to build a 2-color deck, and there is 2 non-green fixing cards that aren't rare in this set. Sounds like an enjoyable limited format. Tommy Gather with the 10-month resubscription. Catching a Jeff stream right at the start. Yay! Welcome back. Now, do they have a second resource? They did not. So they have Howling Brave into Chlorophyll, but they didn't have a second shard here, so that's good for us. Play this blood shard out, and then play my Exarch of the Egg. Some defense. Okay, and they can't get us here because they don't have Ruby for Cresta, so they can't Majesty this turn. I'm just playing this and passing the turn here. I'm gonna hold this. Yeah, I'm going to hold the Infusion Device for now in case we hit a Bride. Next turn, we probably want to Vamp King anyways. So... Good lord. Alright, output. So I could Hero Fall this to keep them off of crocking us next turn. Like, guaranteed. I guess if they draw a Ruby, they could crock us next turn anyways. Yeah, that's bad. Ooh, Inquisition's a great hit here, because Inquisition's going to let us check and see if the coast is clear for this Vampire King. Double Majesty, Eternal Sage, Balthazar. Well then, I guess we're taking a Majesty. I'm going to play this Well of Cunning out for a Sapphire. Can bluff some interaction here. We're just passing back. I think I was better off just jamming the VK last turn. Alright, I changed Twitch servers. Everything else on my internet is remaining connected, so I'm assuming this is a Twitch issue. Well, the good news is, this Vampire King is very likely to take a troop out of their hand next turn. So Vampire King is similar to Vampire Princess in the current standard format. This card's rotated. When it deals damage to our opponent, we get to take a look at a random card in their hand. If we look at a troop, we get to take that and turn it into a 2/2 Life Trade Flight Vampire. So now my opponent's going to be able to hit their Champion Power here and Majesty us, which is quite terrifying. Yep. That is... Okay. So we'll see what they take here. They could take the Croc and just, like, trade it for our 2 Dorks, because this has lethal, so if they fight with the Croc, it's going to die. I say the Gargle, this seems pretty reasonable. This keeps that at bay, and I've got Extinctions here to hit, so I'm not, like, super worried about this Croc. We know at least 3 of their 4 cards are troops right now, so if this hits them, it takes a troop, we'd be ecstatic. Got the Eternal Sage, that comes into play under our control. I'm going to play this Infusion device out here as a Blood Threshold, because this deals double damage, right? Yeah. Because if we don't have anything to do with our resources, we can sacrifice this to draw a card at their end of turn. Probably want to get like one more hit in with this VK before I pull the trigger on one of these Extinctions. We're going to have to Extinction to beat this Gargoyleth at some point, probably. Well, I guess the Exarch just like holds it back, right? God, Exarch is good. This card is so well positioned in Immortal as a format. Just like deals with Runeer Hierophants and random Spell Shield idiots. Attack them for 5, life traded the air here. We know at least 2 of their cards are Balthazars, so at worst, 66% chance to take one away. Yep. Come to me, my vampire children. Come to me. Grab a second Sapphire, because why not? This card is just so good against these ramp decks. Just like snowballs the advantage that you have very quickly. Oh, huh. I guess maybe I should have Extinction because I could have known this was coming. We're still like in a pretty reasonable spot though, right? Yeah, this might have been wrong. Hopefully we hit Bride into non-slow Shard here and we just get to take their board. That would be great. Alright, now Bride. Bride B. If we get to Bride, we get to play a 7th resource and then Extinction, which will take their entire board and give it to us. Just a Vampire Prince. Alright, so I think I'm going to attack with these 2 so I could leave back some blockers here. Well, I guess if I just like attack with everything, right? Yeah, I'm just going to attack with everything. It's like 7 power worth of life drain. Has a Majesty. Alright, that's terrifying. Yeah, I probably just have to Extinction here, right? And a nice healthy 40 at least. Yeah, it was probably a mistake on my part not Extinctioning last turn. And then I'm just going to play this Oracle song now to maximize my resource. Although I guess, like, playing the Vampire... Nah, I'm just going to maximize my resource usage here. Even if we get hit by double damage Calamity. Double damage Calamity would kill us, right? Not anymore. We got a Spooter. Hey, Carvel Gaming. Good morning. Yep. There's the Calamity. So we have to block here, because this is going to hit us for 19. Yeah, definitely best this game up. Transmog. That's unfortunate. Yep. Well, now we Extinction and then take 20 from this because it deals 10 damage to me and... Wait. Is that bugged? Shouldn't it deal 20? I'm not going to play out both Vampire Princes here because I would like to... what's it called? Not get beat by... That's got speed and spell shield. That's gross. Yeah, we're just going to use that to gain 10. Man, where are my brides at? Where are my brides? Boarded up to a 4th. Yep, that's another one of those. I think I'm actually just going to take the hit here. That seems like it has to be wrong, right? Like, when the trigger happens, the Calamity's dealing the 10 damage, so it should deal double. This comes in, it's going to trigger, fight both of these. I'm going to Herofall it in response. So we're going to do a Gargolith here. Did do a lot of things, though. Yeah, that turn I didn't Extinction to wipe the Gargolith when I knew they had a... Balthazar next turn is the mistake we made. I wonder if this is the mass Poly Dingler matchup. It feels like it's a touch too slow on average. Yeah, let's just go ahead and save here. Go first here. What a just like we drew it up, right? How many 4 Sapphire Shards in the deck? Just, ugh. How many blood sources do we have? We've got 11. 4 is 15, 21. 25, so there's 24 blood sources left in my deck. This probably just has to be a mulligan. This hand's much better. We have 4 infusion devices too, so those are blood sources. Morning, Jeb. Right on time, slow shard. So we'd like to get a bunch of blood thresholds going here so we can get this Bride and Extinction with the Bride in play. Yeah, so like Bride, in order to power it out, people have been playing like Uzu in Standard. And like the idea of this deck was we can play Bride and power out her 5 threshold activation without having to give up our champion power, basically. We'll play this, get another blood, and then pass the turn here, I think. Yeah. Could get Majesty next turn. We have Exarch of the Egg on defense here, at least. Yep. Yep. I believe we're just dead, right? Yeah, if I block here, this crushes for 17. So I actually can't block. I have to go to 5 and then hope to hit a Transmogrifade on the draw step here. And we didn't, so we're dead. So good game, split it. Sometimes you just die. And like games like that, like So there's really nothing we could do in that third game there. But the important thing to remember when you're playing matches is that, like, we had choices over the course of our entire match that ended with us having to play that third game. And I made a pretty critical mistake in the second game, where if I don't make that mistake, there's probably another third game for us to play. So even though there's nothing I could do in that particular third game, I shouldn't have had to play that third game if I was playing well. And those are the kinds of things you want to look at when you're playing to become a better TCG player. You have to focus on the things that are inside of your control in a game that has variance by design, as opposed to just, you know, like that hand was a fine keep on 6, and we just didn't have the tools to beat their cards. And like that's the disadvantage to playing a deck like what I'm playing, is the controlling interactive decks. Like your pieces have to line up well with what they have going on, and that's not always going to happen in a format like Immortal, where there's a big diversity of threats that your opponents have. Good games, Insectus. I foobarred the second one, but that third one we just got thoroughly run over. Turns out, turn 4 walking clab, or turn 3, whatever that was, pretty good. Not the worst. Opponent appears to be AFK. Yeah, my big mistake in the second game, TV, was that I could have extinctioned the turn before you played the Balthazar to gain 7 or draw 7, gain 8. I definitely should have done that because I knew you had another Balthazar in your hand from the Inquisition I had played earlier. I'm just going to say TV, because you have TV at the end. It's easier. It just kind of snowballed out of control from there. Opponent, why did you leave, opponent? Apparently rip Twitch again too, just like everything dying. Alright, well, this hand is like medium minus on the draw against what's likely an aggressive deck. I guess I'm going to go ahead and keep it. It would feel much better if we were on the play. We'll see how fast our opponent is. I'm going to lead on this for blood here. Them not having an accelerant on the first turn of the game is good. It means we're only going to get a 2-drop in under our Inquisitions. Sorry about the connection issues. If Twitch keeps being miserable, maybe we'll reschedule the Saturday stream for next weekend. Let's go ahead and take a peekaboo at what they got going on here. Ugh. Alright, so the good news is They don't have a second wild threshold right now, which means this Rude Ear will not be spell shield if they play it next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just take one of these, and that means if they play the other one next turn without drawing exactly a wild threshold, I can transmog it. I think it's pretty good, though. So we're playing like Shoku Crusader here. Yep, there's the Crusader. So this is sweet for us too now. So like we could Inquisition this other rabbit away from them and then transmog this one down the line. So I'm gonna go ahead and Inquisition. Take the other. Why did they wait to play that? I'm so confused. So they drew the Wild Source. I have no idea why they didn't just play the Rude Ear out with Spell Shield there. Seems like a small slip up on their part. Alright, so you hit for 5 here. So this turn, we can transmog this plus Oracle Song. It seems reasonable. I guess now that we drew the Vampire Prince, do I want to just do that instead? I might. I'm transmogging now, so that way, I can play around a potential Gargolith that they could have in their deck. So they have plenty of troops in their crypt here. I guess maybe I should have played the Oracle Song. I wasn't looking at the cards that I knew they had in their hands. This allows them to paw Yazucan this if they want. It's like maybe that's a little bit loose, giving them a good target for that. Their hand right now is Paw, Gemborn Prowler, and then one card that I don't know. Yeah, and like, this allows them to get pressure on the table while impacting my board. So yeah, I probably should have just Oracle Songed last turn. Small mistake on my part. Gonna draw some cards here. I don't really want to burn a Herofall on this. Well, we might burn a Herofall on it now. I'm just gonna pass the turn. Down to 14 here. Their deck probably doesn't have any traditional reach in it, which is good for us. Play this Vampire Prince out here, play this resource. I'm just going to go ahead and play this Infusion device. I think I could like hold it potentially for a Bride, but not. So the reason not to play the Infusion device is I wanted to hold it potentially to get a trigger when I play a Bride out, but is what it is. I wasn't going to have the resources to sacrifice it to draw it anyways, and like finding an opportunity to like pay 1 for something at some point usually isn't that hard. Oh, you know what? I probably should have just Herofalled this on my turn. This gives them a chance to draw a Gargolith or another Paw of Yazucan. No blocks here. Okay. I'm going to start by hitting with the Vampire Prince here. Altar of Nulzann. Interesting. Play this out. I think I just want to play the Exarch of the Egg. It's the least resource efficient of all of my choices here, but it prevents this thing from beating down on me. I guess this technically exposes us to like a Croc, but if they want to trade Croc for these two, I think I'm okay with that exchange. The other hand has a Gemborn Prowler in it, now 3 other cards we don't know. Dread Apprentice, that's interesting. Huh. So it's like 3 here. That's pretty good. Kind of wanted to hit a blood threshold there. We're just going to play this and pass now, I think. If they go to kill this, they'll probably Herofall one of their dorks in response so we can take control of it. Cometh at me, bro. Okay, so they have another aspect of the squirrel in their hand. I don't know if they have MC in their deck, too. I think this card's just, like, good, right? Like, it's just, like, super powerful. I've been kind of high on this card in Standard, too. Hopefully they aspect again here, and then we just get to Herofall them. I've got plenty of fodder in here, right? So, like, yep. I'll take the Dread Apprentice, please. Thank you. Transmog's a good draw. Hey, another bride. Yeah, I guess we just smash here, right? Leave the Exarch back to block. Animus, too. Okay. Oh, wow. That's really good. I forgot. I always forget about some of the extra gems we have in this game. In Immortal, there's a lot of good major ones. They have the... This is basically a pseudo-removal spell for them. Target troop gets minus power equal to this power. So when this comes into play, it gives the minus 3 power permanently. That's really strong. Speaking of strong, sacrifice a troop case. That's going to be a 6/4. That's fine. Oh, and we get the Holly Brave, right? Oh, Bride of the Damned. Transmog this. It's the concession. Alright, and into the post-reserve game here. Definitely want the extra Bride and the extra Extinction. Probably the Mass Poly Dingler too. Opponent's got Spell Shield Root Ears. I think Inquisition's a little medium minus in this matchup. Probably wouldn't mind having a Lanupaw sight. It was really good, right? Like, it allowed you to grind through a lot of stuff. I think I'm gonna do this. I didn't see any Hero Falls out of them, but it's possible they have them. If we get Hero Fallen in the second game, I might trim the 4th Bride again. Maybe bring in the 2nd sight, but for now I think I'm gonna do this. It's fine, right? It's got like Exarch of the Egg to like hold down the fort and do an Extinction later. This card's really good because it holds the Spell Shield Rune Ears at bay, because it is very lethal. Okay. Altar of Nulzann, yep. If we miss a resource this turn, I'm going to play the Vampire Prince out. Yeah, so playing the Prince out here allows us to have 2 chances to draw a resource next turn. We could draw a resource off the top of our deck or off the top of their deck when this hits them and flips the card over. Withering Gaze, sure. So we could lose our Extinction here. Not be surprised if that's the one that bites it. Yep. Alright, at least it wasn't a cheap shot. Shard is great. Hey, yo. Alright, well, I'm going to play this other Vampire Prince out here, and then play this Bloodstone, so they lose 2 and we gain 2. 1 for each vampire we have. Declan Scott. Alright. Alright.
Where are they?
Right here. Alright. Hopefully we hit a Sapphire threshold so we can play this Transmogrifade on the Crusader next turn. Interesting. Okay. It's not bad. I guess I could just Herofall this Crusader now. Seems fine. Have to draw some cards there. We could hopefully just race with these princes. Basically, almost a 6-point life swing every turn. Yeah, so play this. They lose 2. We gain 2. Gaining a lot of life here as well, so feeling pretty good. So, like, they took our Extinction away, which, like, gave us the green light to, like, be playing with these cards to, like, put our princes into play and start racing. Oakhenge Ceremony. Nice. Add some consistency. They must not have much removal in their deck if they've got Altar and Oakhenge and MC and Underworld Crusader. They've got, like, a lot of restrictions they have to meet, basically. Is chat broken still? It's fine for me. Yeah, chat seems fine. I wasn't aware chat was broken at all. We had a couple disconnect issues, so some kind of issue Twitch was having, but I think we're fine. So, if we hit a Bloodstone this turn, our opponent actually dies, because we hit them for 4 with these Vampire Princes, and then we play the King, and then Bloodstone kills them. So, let's give it a go here. Give it the old college try. And they're dead. So, play the Vampire King, and then Bloodstone does the damage for each Vampire we have. And boom goes the dynamite. Let's play one more here with the Bride Infusion device before we change things up. Sweet. Immortal Q is popping this morning. I love it. I'd love to go first. Against Jank bot, sign me up. Yeah, it seems plenty reasonable. So opponent has a 150 card deck because there is a card in Immortal called Jank bot that is a 4-cost 5/6 that has the deck building requirement. You have to have 150 cards in your deck. We might have to play with that at some point. We might have to play with that. So I don't know if we're going to do it today, but at some point we're going to do it. Let's go ahead and hip check our opponent here, see if they've got tanks of Jank. Mono Sapphire Jank bot. Yeah, the idea behind this deck was that we wanted to play can't beat a Psychic Ascension, so we'll take that away. We wanted to play Bride and Extinction in the same deck, and Infusion device allowed us to enable that to happen quickly. Flight on Exalted Professor is like D+. I'm going to go ahead and play this and grab a Sapphire Threshold here for ourselves. You can play this Blood Shard out so we can cycle these coins. I would assume he's on 4 Ascensions and 150 cards. I know I'd be on 4 Ascensions. Hopefully they play the Empress out here, and then we can Extinction to clean up both of them. Rats, they're smart. They didn't play out. They didn't play out the Ascension. So every time this diligences, they get a random... I didn't play out the Empress. They get a random action. Yeah, I'm just going to transmog that. Yeah, am I going to transmog that? Nah, I'm a liar. I'm just going to play this and pass. We'll crack this at end step. Just not going to play into their counter magic this turn that we know they have. We know they have counter magic and Empress of the Ice in hand. And now they have a random action that Zubrin here has generated. Almost assuredly for absolute power, right? You just like hit that with Jankbot and draw into however many cards you want. Have a 1-drop. Sweep away. Rude. I'm going to play this out for Sapphire here, because we do have a Psychic Ascension in our deck that will need double Sapphire at some point. We don't have a Bride, so we might as well wait on playing the other Blood Shard out. We're just going to run this into Extinction next, and Counter Magic next turn. Even with the second one in hand, I think this is fine. So this is going to eat a Counter Magic, and the next turn we can play another one. They might also just, like, not want to fight over protecting these threats. Okay, they do. Sure. So Counter Magic, in addition to interrupting the card on the chain, it makes all other copies of Extinction in my deck cost 2 more, so this next Extinction is going to cost us 6 to play out. Attack for 3 here, down to 18. That's pretty good. They draw 3 cards, and then every card they draw that way costs them 1 less. Yeah, pretty sure I just need to clean those dorks up. They could have a Verdict of the Ancient Kings here from the Zodiac Divination. Unfortunately, because that Extinction costs 6, we can't Oracle Song from our Champion Power this turn. So they're going to get to draw a couple here. We know they have an Empress of the Ice, a randomly generated action, and then I don't think we know anything else in their hand at this point. 3 of the cards cost 1 less, though. Indigo Dreamwalker. Next card in their deck gets... You can play this for free. It's kind of scary. Could hit something big like an Absolute Power. You could play this for free, or it could just be an arcade focus, you know? The swings are large. And drop a couple cards here, see what we find. Opponent is playing a Jank bot deck. They have 150 cards in their deck. I mean, yeah, I think I'm just jamming both of these. You know they have an Empress of Ice in their hand. Oh, I can't actually play both. That's fine. This is the better one to play outright, because I can threaten to block here. There's probably right around, you know, 20 to 30 playable Sapphire cards. There's like 4x all the playable Sapphire cards in the format. What you got going on? There's the Empress of Ice. Interesting that they played that after their resource. So they didn't get to exhaust this. Into Copycat, yep. Like, again, we kind of talked about, like, what's going on here earlier in that, you know, I'm trying to play a deck that's a control deck, and in Immortal, there's a lot of different things there's a lot of different cards people can be playing and axes they can be attacking on, so, like, this is probably a pretty miserable matchup for us. We'll see if it gets better post-reserves. We get some tools, but, like, they're just, like, hitting us on an axis that's different than a lot of the other decks attack in Immortal, so, you know, we're just not going to have the right tools to line up against this random deck that our opponent's playing. Would you like to come in here? Here you go. Oh, are you stuck? Ugh, come here. You can bring your blanket in. Yeah, you're precious. Don't hit my spacebar. Alright, yeah, we're just super dead to that at this point. Alright, post reserves, what are we doing here? I feel like I want to cut Extinction. Like, we just ended up 1-for-1ing it there. It would have been good against Copycat at the end, but at the same time, it's like, they're not going to have consistently Copycatting like that. I want a second Ascension for ourselves. I want a couple of Lanupaw sites, I think, here. Do I want to trim some of the spot removal? I guess Vampire Prince is kind of unimpressive. Like, he's got a lot of random flyers that, like, this just gets stonewalled by. The Princess is probably slightly better. It can block 1/1 flyers, at least. Exarch of the Egg is not impressive, so I'm going to cut these. I probably don't need all of these infusion devices. Like, accelerating to Bride isn't exactly what we're looking to do. I guess Darkheart seems like it's fine. Let's put Darkheart in. If he can't answer Darkheart, it's going to get him. Let's put Speed and Draw card on here. Maybe I want Quick and Draw card, actually. Yeah, probably those two. Let's do it. I mean, all the deck lists get posted for the Immortal queue, just like they get posted for everything else. So as soon as we finish playing our game here, there'll be a deck list on PvP tools. Sounds like medium minus. Okay, your yogurt is gone. Let's put that in there. Can I wipe your mouth? Messy child? Are you a messy child? Walking disaster zone? You don't want to play them at the opposing end step. I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes you want to, like, end step a threat into untap, play another threat. Like, that's fine. Like, okay, have an interrupt for this, and now, like, have an interrupt for another thing on my turn. Like, being able to time it is often more important than, like, getting that extra trigger off of it a lot of the time in my experience. Like, when I was playing the Blood Sapphire deck that played out mostly on the opponent's turn, like, the Quick and the Dark Heart was good. Opponents, like, I'm up a game with Jank bot against you. And I was like, well, I mean, you're playing a bunch of cards that, like, I never want to play against. Like, this is why control decks are often awkward and bad. Like, opponent's deck, like, if we were playing something like Majesty or some consistent proactive strategy where, like, we were able to punish our opponent for, like, dirtling around and not doing anything like they did, like, then we would have a good matchup against them. But, like, the fact that we're just, like, not consistently applying pressure means our opponent's gonna have a pretty reasonable matchup. And, like, the other thing to keep in mind is, like, just because Dark Heart is quick doesn't mean you have to play it on your opponent's turn. Like, if you're in a profitable position to play the Dark Heart on our turn, we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll play it on our turn. But, like, just the flexibility of the timing of a card like that in a control mirror is very valuable. I'm gonna go ahead and play this Vampire King out here. I have a sweep away or something for this you want to play before I can untap and draw a Verdict of the Ancient Kings. Let's go an Oracle Song, see what we get. Oh, look at that. A Verdict of the Ancient Kings. Sign me up. Remember, just because your cards are quick doesn't mean you have to play them on your turn. Try and sweep away me or Crackling Tide me or something. Ding, ding, ding! We have a winner. So we looked at their hand and we saw they had a Jank bot, and we turned it into a vampire. Sign me up. The sweep away was from Zubrin. Maybe. I mean, like, sweep away is pretty close to a playable card. Like, it's a tempo card that can protect your threats. Mastery of Time. Huh. Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather save this Verdict for, like, pushing through a threat. Like, they basically didn't do anything with this Mastery of Time Oh. Huh. Well, that's awkward. So now they get to hit me with this. Okay. That's pretty good. Now they get a chance to attack with this. Before, when I said the Mastery of Time was fine, they weren't getting to attack with something. God, that's a good sequence. Alright, well, we are about a coin flip to be happy with this. They have a 3/4 chance to take one of our troops out of our hand here. It's really unfortunate for us. Sweet. Sure. Alright, let's draw. Unfortunately, we're 2 blood away. Alright, well, that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and Inquisition them and see what one of their last 2 cards are here. Hopefully take away protection they might have. Nice. Steal. And then what do I want to hit here? I think I just need to Herofall this. Academy Cerulean lets them look at 2 cards every turn to pick the one they're drawing, and this lets them draw 2 cards next turn, so they're still in a pretty reasonable spot. It's possible I should prioritize killing this, but like I really don't want to give them a coin flip to take a troop out of my hand next turn. And like, I have Herofall plus Verdict to try and push this out of here. Hopefully they don't hit another Empress or a Copycat here. Sure, exhaust my thing. Alright, so, drew another Inquisition. Alright, yeah, the odds of them having 2 pieces of counter magic here are pretty low, so I'm just gonna go ahead and lead on this. This gives a card permanently Spell Shield. Huh. That might be really good in the Immortal Empress deck. Huh. I'm gonna have to file that one away. We did in fact dodge a bullet. You are not wrong. Alright, so we're gonna get to ready with these nerds, which sounds great. We get to force through a Vampire Princess with a Verdict of the Ancient Kings. Sitting kind of pretty here. Yeah, I'm gonna lead on this, because if they have a counter magic and like 1 thing in their hand, so we're gonna play this out, and now we can protect this with Verdict. Let's go ahead and crack them with these 2. Pass the turn back here. Void all cards and how about I use my no button? Stop it.
Didn't you have a yogurt pop?
It's in the bowl here. Alright, let's go and attack with these dorks. Alright, we took the other Comet Strike out of their hand. God bless. God bless us, everyone. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This would only be 10, 11, 12, but the Vampire Kiss would kill them. So, yeah, I guess I'm playing this Bride out here because this will be a lethal attack next turn. Just multiple Comet Strikes. I need this Subterfuge. I might need this Subterfuge. Just as, like, take random things out of your hand. Bride seems like, yeah, Bride's probably fine. Good lord. Yeah, I'm just gonna save. I think this is fine. We do have a level up here, don't we? Get some gold? Sure. So, they have a lot of random flying troops, Bob. And, like, Bride can help us, like, take over the game a little bit. So I think I'd rather have Bride. Prince gets gummed up in the works a lot of the time. Just for a chance to take the Jank box. I mean, yeah, there's that upside too, right? I agree that our curve is a little medium minus right now, but I think Prince is worse than having a better curve. Yeah, he had like Empress of the Ice and other random 1/1s and 3/4 flyers. I think I'm just keeping a hand that's got resources in it. Like not getting stuck on 5 sounds great. Lead on this for blood. Perfect. Turn 3 play for us. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Happy weekend. Get a little Saturday morning stream in. I've been meaning to do some weekend streams, but the last 2 weekends we had double Hex tournament days, so I didn't get a chance to, but I am home on the weekends on the regular now, which is exciting. That's different than what my life was last year, so having a good time battling some Hex. I'm excited to play the Clash again tomorrow. Played all of them so far. Plan to continue playing as many as possible. Go ahead and cycle this coin. So opponent has 3 up here, which is like deny and counter magic. That being said, I am just like 10 out of 10 running this Bride of the Damned headlong into any interaction here. Look how great it is we don't have a 2/1 flyer, right? Right? It's so good. It's like the next level we knew it was coming. This is kind of a cute interaction. This says you draw a card whenever it leaves play. So my opponent time rippled their own card there so they could return it to their hand to draw a card, as opposed to time rippling my Bride. Go ahead and just kill this, which does let them draw another card. Attack with the Bride, play my king out. Okay, you know, doing our best to put up an aggressive front, like 3 power guy to 3 power guy turns 3/4. It's about as aggro as we get, right? Especially without princes in the deck. So they could have Arcane Shield up here. Hopefully they don't have a cat. Actually, this is really good for us if they don't have a cat. That's fantastic. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and play this out and give their idiot -1/-1, and I'm gonna Herofall it and take control of it, so we never have to deal with another Empress out of their deck. Oh, you know what? This was a pretty sizable mistake on my part, actually, here. Well, I guess there's an argument to making that I want to make Sapphire with that down the line. I could have played this out as a slow shard for blood this turn, though. Hopefully we can avoid the Comet Strike on 9 or 10. Got 8 power in play, it's not the worst. Get the Lanupaw sight up next turn. Another Vampire King, sure. I think I want to sight next turn as opposed to sticking the Vampire King. Let's see what we hit here. Correct, yeah. That sequencing was fine on my part. It actually didn't matter. I I guess I can play this and then go Sight plus Oracle Song. Oh, right, we could exhaust that. Taking her makes her still copycatable. That's very fair. Could ultimately be a mistake. Oh, I can't champ power yet. God, I'm so dumb. Man, just like a comedy of sequencing mistakes here. Good lord. So many sequencing mistakes. I don't know why I had in my head. I was looking at their charge champ power and going, well, they're one away, and then I played mine, but obviously we need another one. Yep. It's not even about thresholds, it's just like counting. Like, it's about not having enough charges. Are they playing Oracle Song here, too? Sure. Discard a couple cards. I think I actually want to wait on my champion power at this point now, since we know they have a bunch of Comet Strikes in their deck. Sure. Although I guess drawing cards means I could... Well, drawing Dark Heart means I'm just going to play that. Just going to make them get rid of this. And look, my sequencing mistake here has really cost us. If I would have played the right resource last turn, I'd be able to Inquisition right now. And then we'd be pretty safe. Whereas now, I can't. So, like, pretty big, like, played the wrong resource and getting thoroughly punished for it here. Like, we get mass poly Dinglered here. There's a lot of things that could happen that we could have had a good chance of preventing if we would have been able to play the Inquisition this turn by having one more resource by sequencing in the correct order. Pretty sizable mistake. That's most likely fine. We've got a lot of pressure here on the table. I guess I'm gonna have to sacrifice one of my idiots to this. Get rid of the Rift Spasm. Howdy, Elwens. We get to draw a couple of cards next turn. One for our turn. We just draw one for the Inquisition. Guppy Gloves my Empress. I think that means I'm sacrificing the Empress here, right? Yeah, they should just be dead here. Yeah, they're dead on board, actually. Alright, now they're super dead. Look at that! Scoreboard got there against the Jank bot deck. Post-board again, we got to trim a bunch of our stuff that was kind of awkward. And have more interaction. Comet Strike in hand, yep. Alright, scoreboard. So finished 2-1 with the Bride deck here. And, yeah, pretty reasonable. The one match we lost, we definitely punted the second game. So, I'm not too unhappy with that.